joined today with Tom Anderson, Oscar Zulu 1 Alpha Alpha. He's from Copenhagen, Denmark. Well, originally, because right now he is on the road. For the last 5 years, he's been cycling around the world. He's been meeting lots of hams and regular folks along the way. And so far, he's bicycled over 30,000 miles and 2,000 days on the road. Welcome aboard, Tom.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you. So glad you could take time out from being on the road. You know, kind of give everybody a feel for what's got you started to even begin this endeavor.
I'm from Denmark, and that's a place where we like to ride our bicycles. So kind of riding the bicycle, that was nothing new for me. I always rode to school and university and even to my job. And I also started to travel. And at some point I thought, hey, what if I can combine my two big passions, that is like riding my bicycle and travel. And I started just with smaller trips. I did like summer holidays, 2 weeks rides in Europe. Then at some point I did a longer ride. I was for 2 months in India, crossing India from south to north. And that was where I realized I kind of like this adventure kind of part of the whole thing as well. And then I was reading some books about people who cycled all around the world, and I was reading blogs on the internet, and I decided, hey, I want to do this as well.
So the first country you crossed entirely, would that be Denmark or was that India?
Well, I started this trip. This trip has been going on for 5 years, and I started back home in Copenhagen, my city, Copenhagen in Denmark, and that was on the 2nd of October 2010. So we are at 5 years plus now and getting towards 6 years. I hope to be back before 6 years. I hope to be back before the 2nd of October 2016.
And be done, completed.
That's it. So we have a couple of months to go on this long trip, yeah.
So far, how many countries have you cycled through?
Yeah, right now I'm in Egypt, and Egypt is country number 49 by bicycle. And I will add another. I plan to go up to Cairo here in Egypt, and I will take a flight over to Morocco because it gets a bit complicated now. It's a little bit difficult to get kind of out of Egypt because there is Libya, and then there is Syria on the other side, so it's you have to fly.
You're in some dangerous areas. I mean, have you encountered any kind of close calls in some of these countries or near them?
My overall experience is that the people have been absolutely friendly and helpful everywhere in the whole world. I was even cycling down through Syria in 2010 before the sad situation over there with the war, and I met only friendly people there. I've been in some other countries in Central America, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, that is also known to be like difficult, maybe dangerous countries. But the thing is, when you're on the bicycle, you're always kind of a very low-key visitor to a country, I guess. And it's not like people don't want to harm you when you're on the bicycle. I think that's a general idea. But what I think is the kind of risk is to be out in the traffic. So I'm out in the traffic for 6, 7, 8 hours every day, and I had some close call with the trucks. I was in Namibia. I was riding a kind of like straight road that was just like a straight road for 20 miles. And it was not a lot of traffic. And I was actually not even cycling. I was at the side of the road. And I just decided I heard a sound, and I was looking behind me, and I saw a big truck coming like right in my direction. And I had time to think that this guy wants to kill me or he has fallen asleep, one of the two options. And it turned out that it was option number 2, like he had actually fallen asleep. And I had time to jump, like I really had 1 second to think, and then I had to jump away from my bike, and then he hit my bicycle. And the back wheel was completely crashed, and I had to get a lot of repairs done, but luckily I was okay. I just jumped away like 1 second before.
So you were able to use the same bike?
Using my same bike now, but I had to get a new wheel, a new back wheel, new pedals, and kind of extensive repairs, but I'm using the same bike still, yeah.
Luckily, you've never been injured in your 30,000 miles that you've been bicycling.
Yeah, knock on wood, yeah. I have a few months to go before I'm back home. And I think the beautiful thing is that I've met so many friendly people all over the world as well, in all these countries. Never really... I had my phone stolen once in Peru. I guess that's normal. That could happen everywhere. And even back home, like people steal bicycles and stuff, but I never lost anything serious, and I think that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
Now, you were mentioning that you have to fly around a lot, you and your bike and all your, your personal belongings. So are you self-funding this, or are you getting donations, or is this really expensive, or you've managed to keep it pretty low-key?
I tried to do it at a very low budget. My basic budget is $20 a day, $20 a day. And that seems to be working quite well basically all over the world. When you are in a very expensive countries like countries in Europe or Australia or the US, of course I need to use my tent. I have my tent on the bicycle, I'm camping. And in the US I was experienced so much amazing hospitalities from the radio amateurs, from the hams there, that I think I counted, I was in the US for 2 months and I paid for 2 days in a motel. I think one night in Georgia and one night in Richmond as well, I paid. And that was it for 2 months. All the other nights I was either camping, but that was not even too much. And then I was staying with the radio hams along the way. That worked out great.
Well, I know you stayed here. So we're
exactly
glad to have you back next year as well, if you're up for it.
I would absolutely love to be back for the barbecue there. Yeah.
The hams have helped you out with hosting families and things like that. Has ham radio helped you out in any other way with your adventure?
Yes. Right now, I was a month ago. I was trying to get this visa for Sudan, which is very, very difficult to get. And of course, I asked my friends, my ham radio friends, hey, do you know anybody? And there was a few guys who was really doing a lot of help, actually, trying to get this visa for Sudan, like radio hams who have been there on the expeditions and even lived there. Unfortunately, in the end, I didn't get the visa, but it was not for the lack of connections, kind of. I really had very good connections to try to get this visa. In the end, I decided to fly, so I flew over Sudan, and now I'm here in Egypt and cycling again. But if I had more time, if I could spend another month trying to get the visa, I would get it. But I decided, hey, I want to be back in Denmark before when it's still summer, before October. So I decided, okay, I will fly.
So they say amateur radio opens the doors to the world, I guess not just on the air, but in real life. So that's kind of cool. Now, do you only, when you're finding host families to stay with, are they mostly been ham radio operators, or do you have something on the web where people can sign up if they want to become a host family for you, or is it just through people you know? So
it's a mix of everything, really. Sometimes it's people I just meet on the road. Like sometimes I just meet guys and when I'm cycling, and they say, hey, where are you from and where are you going? And I say, yeah, I'm from Denmark. I'm cycling around the world, and I think I'll stay in this area for tonight. And they invite me home, and it has happened several times, and it's amazing. Of course, the ham radio operators, especially in the US, I would say, and Canada, it was absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of hams there. There's not a lot of hams in Africa.
Yeah, I know.
I met a few people, but I've been here for 6 months now, and I think I stayed maybe 2 or 3 nights with ham radio operators here. But then the other thing is that it's quite cheap here. So with my $20 a day budget, I can still pay. I'm paying $8 for this room tonight, and it has air conditioning, it has Wi-Fi, everything. So the dollars take you a bit further over here. So that's
now, how long do you think it's going to take you to bicycle through Egypt?
Egypt, that will take me about 2 weeks. I will be here in Egypt just for 2 weeks. Then I will fly over to Morocco, and I will spend maybe a week there. And then it's basically a 2 months ride back to Denmark through Spain, France, Germany, Denmark. That will take 2 months. So I'm aiming to be back in Denmark just around the end of September, when it's still kind of nice weather before the fall. So, and then just before it's 6 years on the road, I hope to be back home. That's the plan for now.
If our viewers want to follow you on your adventures around the world, what's the best way that they can do that?
I have my website. It's called cyclingtheglobe.com, www.cyclingtheglobe.com. And I'm also on all the kind of modern social media, like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and just Cycling the Globe, and you'll find me there.
Thanks, Tom, for joining us. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, cycling the world, and making amateur radio a part of it.
Yeah, wonderful. And I've been listening to your show. I was on for a few minutes when we met at Dayton last summer, and ever since I've been listening to all the podcasts there. So great show. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for taking Ham Nation on the road with you. Take care and all the best and safe travels.